Untouched, wild, earth breathes purest life. This is Venezuela, a land where rivers run red like fire, mountains rise like ancient gods, and waterfalls tumble endlessly from the heavens. A land of infinite contrasts where the Caribbean kisses golden shores and the Amazon hides secrets older than time itself. But beyond its breathtaking landscapes lies something even more powerful, a spirit. The unshakable, radiant soul of a people who have learned not just to survive, but to shine. In the face of challenge, they sing. In the shadow of hardship, they dance. And in every corner of this magnificent land, they remind the world what it means to truly live. Tonight, we journey deep into the heart of South America, across deserts of shifting gold, rivers of crimson beauty, and skies that touch eternity. From the floating worlds of Canaima to the rolling plains of Los Llanos, from the thunder of Angel Falls to the whisper of the Orinoco, we uncover a country like no other. Venezuela, the hidden paradise of Earth. Open with the viewer floating above clouds, breaking over Angel Falls, the world's highest waterfall, as sunlight catches the mist. The narrator's voice evokes awe and mystery, asking, what if paradise wasn't lost, but hidden? Introduce Venezuela as a country of contrasts, from Caribbean coasts to towering Tepui. Describe how its beauty has remained untouched by time and how its landscapes feel like they belong to another planet. Have you ever imagined a place where time doesn't move forward, where every sunrise feels like the first dawn on Earth? A place where rivers flow through red canyons, where clouds wrap around mountains so tall they touch eternity? This is not a dream. This is Venezuela, a forgotten paradise, carved by the hands of time and hidden in the embrace of nature itself. For centuries, its landscapes have whispered to those who listen tales of creation, of survival, and of beauty untouched by man. As the mist parts over the endless wilderness, the land seems to breathe, revealing a secret world unlike anywhere else on our planet. Here, nature doesn't just exist, it performs. The horizon glows like liquid fire as the sun sets behind ancient plateaus, known as Tepui stone citadels, older than the Amazon, older than the Andes, and older than life as we know it. The wind rushes through endless valleys, carrying the scent of rain, earth, and something ancient, something sacred. In Venezuela, every drop of water, every grain of sand, and every gust of wind tells the story of a world that time forgot. The first explorers who reached these lands could hardly believe what they saw. From the Caribbean's turquoise waves to the towering waterfalls of the interior, Venezuela's geography feels like a dream painted on the surface of the earth. To the north lies a coastline, kissed by coral reefs and islands so bright they shimmer like pearls. Move inland, and you'll meet jungles so dense they conceal mountains rising straight out of the clouds. Then, just beyond, deserts stretch like golden seas, vast, empty, and eerily beautiful. It's a nation of extremes, yet each corner connects seamlessly into one breathtaking masterpiece. Imagine soaring above Angel Falls, the tallest waterfall on Earth. The sound of rushing water fills the air, and the mist cools your face as sunlight fractures into countless rainbows. The cascade plunges nearly a kilometer from the edge of a mountain that looks like it floats in the sky. Beneath, the jungle glows in deep emerald green, alive with life, toucans calling, hidden rivers winding like silver veins. For the native Piman people, this isn't just a waterfall, it's the breath of the gods, a living spirit that guards the heart of their homeland. And as you watch it fall, you can't help but feel small, humbled, and deeply connected to something greater. But Venezuela's magic doesn't end there. Journey south, and you'll discover Canaima, a land of red rivers and pink-hued lagoons. The water flows like liquid amber under the sun, colored by natural minerals that paint the landscape in shades of fire. It's here that you understand the essence of this country, raw, wild, and untamed. Every vista feels like a scene from another planet. Every corner hums with life, macaws soaring above, monkeys echoing through the canopy, and silence so profound it feels alive. And yet, beyond its natural wonders, Venezuela carries a heartbeat, the warmth of its people. In small mountain villages and coastal towns, time slows down. Locals greet you with laughter, music, and stories told beneath the stars. They live surrounded by breathtaking beauty, yet they remain humble, proud, and deeply connected to their land. For them, nature is not a backdrop, it's a companion, a guardian, a teacher. As twilight descends, the skies over the Orinoco Delta turn gold, and the waters shimmer like molten glass. Far away, lightning flickers on the horizon, the first glimpse of the Catatumbo storms that dance every night over Lake Maracaibo. Venezuela doesn't just show you landscapes, it shows you the poetry of existence, written in rivers, clouds, and stone. In this land of forgotten wonders, you begin to feel something shift inside you, a deep awareness that the earth is still full of miracles waiting to be found. The world may have moved on, chasing noise, speed, and concrete jungles, but here, silence speaks. And if you listen closely, you can hear the voice of creation itself, soft, eternal, and alive. This is the beginning of our journey across mountains that float above clouds, across rivers that glow like blood and fire, across deserts that move like waves. A journey through one of Earth's last great frontiers. Welcome to Venezuela, a world forgotten by time, but remembered by the soul. Begin with the roar of the waterfall echoing through dense rainforest mist. Dive into the story of Angel Falls, how it was discovered, its spiritual connection to the Pemen people, and the geological wonder of the Tepui plateau. Capture the raw power of falling water that seems to fall from the heavens. Close your eyes and imagine this: a river flowing quietly through the jungle, winding between walls of ancient stone. The air grows heavy with mist. The sound of rushing water builds in the distance, faint at first, then thunderous, like the heartbeat of the earth itself. Then suddenly, it appears before you, a white ribbon of water plunging from the heavens. This is Angel Falls, the highest waterfall on our planet. It doesn't just fall, it floats, suspended between sky and earth, like a dream that refuses to end. Rising from the heart of Venezuela's Canaima National Park, Angel Falls is one of those places that feels beyond human comprehension. The water begins its journey from the edge of Tepui, one of the world's most majestic tabletop mountains, its summit cloaked in clouds, its walls sheer and unbroken for nearly a kilometer. From this sacred plateau, the fall drops over 3,200 feet, its mist carried away by the wind like smoke from a celestial fire. Locals call it Carapacupai Meru, the fall from the deepest place, a name that carries the reverence of generations who have worshipped its beauty for centuries. Standing before it, you feel time stop. The roar fills the air, vibrating through your chest and into your bones. The jungle at its base glows with every shade of green imaginable: ferns, palms, mosses, all glistening with the waterfall's mist. The sunlight breaks through in shards, catching the spray and creating rainbows that shift and dance like living spirits. The scene feels ancient, untouched, as though no human eye was ever meant to see it. To reach Angel Falls is no easy task. It's not a place you can simply drive to. It must be earned. Travelers begin by gliding down the Coro River, then the Churun River, through a maze of water channels framed by red cliffs and thick jungle. The air hums with life: cicadas, parrots, the distant calls of monkeys echoing from the trees. And when the river bends, there it is, rising impossibly high into the clouds. The sight is overwhelming, even from miles away. It's as if the earth itself decided to open a window to the sky. The story of how the world came to know Angel Falls is one of adventure and awe. In 1933, an American pilot named Jimmy Angel was searching for gold when he flew over Tepui. and spotted the waterfall for the first time. His small plane later crashed atop the mountain, forcing him and his companions to trek through the dense jungle for 11 days before finding civilization again. That journey transformed a myth into a legend, and his name would forever be tied to this miracle of nature. But beyond the tale of discovery lies something far deeper, a spiritual connection that transcends time. For the Piman people, who have lived in these lands for generations, the Tepui are sacred. They believe the gods carved these mountains at the beginning of the world, creating dwellings for powerful spirits. To them, Angel Falls is not just water, it is life descending from the heavens, a reminder of the bond between earth and sky. When you stand here, it's easy to understand why. The entire world feels alive, breathing in rhythm with a cascade. At dawn, the mist glows gold as the first light of morning touches the summit. By midday, the water becomes a column of white fire, and when night falls, the moon turns the spray into silver dust, shimmering over the valley. Every hour brings a new face to this wonder. Every second, another breath of the planet itself. For those who visit, Angel Falls is not just a destination, it's a revelation. It teaches humility. It reminds us how small we are, how magnificent nature can be when left untouched. The climb, the river journey, the sweat and silence, all of it leads to a single moment when you stand before the fall and your heart forgets to beat. You realize that this right here is what the word wonder truly means. In the distance, the jungle fades into a blue horizon, where more tepui rise like islands from an ancient sea. Each one hides a world of its own rivers, caves, plants, and creatures found nowhere else on Earth. It's said that these mountains inspired Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World, and standing here, surrounded by towering cliffs and drifting clouds, it's not hard to believe it. As we leave Angel Falls behind, its echo remains a low, eternal rumble that follows you long after you've gone. You don't just see Angel Falls, you feel it. It becomes part of you, written into your memory like the rhythm of a dream. This is Venezuela's heart, wild, powerful, eternal. And from this sacred water, our journey continues deeper into lands shaped by fire and wind, into deserts that move like oceans, into rivers that flow red as the setting Sunday. The adventure has only begun. Begin with a drone soaring through clouds as stone plateaus rise like ancient fortresses. Explore the Tepui, the islands in the sky, some of Earth's oldest rock formations. Describe how each mesa holds its own ecosystem, isolated from the rest of the world for millions of years. Highlight Mount Roraima and its mythic aura. They call it the land where Earth meets the heavens, a kingdom of ancient stone rising out of the mist. Here, in southern Venezuela, lies one of the planet's last untouched frontiers, Canaima National Park, a place so vast and mysterious, it feels like another world, a lost realm sculpted by rain, wind, and time itself. As dawn breaks, the jungle wakes with it. Golden light spills across an endless canopy, and from the clouds emerge colossal plateaus, the Tepui, or houses of the gods. These flat-topped mountains are unlike anything else on Earth. Their sheer cliffs rise thousands of feet into the sky, their summits hidden behind drifting clouds. Each Tepui is a world of its own, cut off from the rest of the planet for millions of years. Scientists believe they hold species that exist nowhere else, plants that devour insects, frogs the size of your fingernail, and flowers that bloom only once every century. To gaze upon them is to stare into Earth's past, a glimpse into the dawn of creation. Canaima covers over 12,000 square miles, a wilderness larger than many countries. Waterfalls tumble from every direction, some as tall as skyscrapers, others weaving gently into crimson-colored rivers below. The land is alive with contrast. Fiery sandstone cliffs against emerald jungles, golden light reflecting off dark waters, thunder echoing through vast open valleys. It's nature at its most cinematic, wild, raw, and eternal. The name Canaima itself carries an ancient legend. To the Pemen people, the guardians of this region, Canaima is a spirit, a presence that watches over the land. He is neither good nor evil, but a force of balance, ensuring that nature's harmony is never broken. When storms roll across the Tepui and lightning strikes their peaks, the Pemen say Canaima is speaking, reminding humanity of the power that lies beyond our control. And it's easy to feel that power here. The air hums with mystery. Standing at the base of Tepui, the same mountain that gives birth to Angel Falls, you can hear the whisper of wind weaving through stone, an ancient melody that seems to echo from the dawn of time. The jungle below is a labyrinth of rivers and lagoons, their waters tinted red by the tannins from the surrounding plants. Under the sunlight, they shimmer like liquid bronze, giving the landscape a surreal, dreamlike glow. To explore Canaima is to surrender to its rhythm. There are no straight paths, no predictable routes. You move by canoe, drifting along narrow waterways framed by towering cliffs and endless green. The silence is broken only by the dip of a paddle, the cry of a parrot, or the distant roar of a waterfall. Each turn reveals something extraordinary. A hidden lagoon, a field of orchids, a cloudburst painting rainbows in the mist. It's the kind of beauty that doesn't shout, it whispers, quietly but deeply, until your heart can't help but listen. And then there's the Grand Savannah, the great savanna that stretches beyond the horizon. Rolling plains dotted with strange rock formations and lonely palm trees. It feels timeless, almost prehistoric. Herds of wild animals move in the distance, and rivers snake through the red earth like veins of life. The Tepui stand as sentinels in the distance, their shadows stretching across the land. It's a place that defies imagination, part desert, part jungle, part sky. At night, Canaima becomes something else entirely. The stars ignite the sky with a brilliance few people on Earth have ever seen. No city lights, no noise, just the pure hum of the universe above. The Milky Way arches from one horizon to the other, so bright it reflects off the still waters below. You realize that here, in the silence of this ancient land, the Earth still speaks the language of the cosmos. Yet, despite its grandeur, Canaima remains one of the least explored places on the planet. Only a handful of its Tepui have ever been fully studied. Each one holds secrets, hidden caves, lost rivers, unique ecosystems untouched for millions of years. It's said that every expedition here returns changed, not just by what they've seen, but by what they've felt. Because in Canaima, you don't conquer nature, you surrender to it. There's a sense of eternity that hangs in the air. The wind feels older than time itself. The stones whisper of forgotten eras, and every drop of rain tells a story from the beginning of the world. It's a place that reminds us of what Earth once was, and perhaps what it still wishes to be. As you watch the final rays of sunlight fade behind the towering cliffs, the jungle comes alive once more. Frogs sing, insects hum, and distant thunder rolls across the plains. The air smells of rain and earth, clean, untouched, eternal. You realize that in Canaima, you are not just witnessing nature, you are part of it. And as the night deepens, the Tepui disappear once more into the mist, like ancient gods retreating into their realm. Tomorrow will bring more wonders, deserts that move like waves, and rivers that glow red beneath the sunday. But tonight, the soul of Canaima lingers wild, infinite, and utterly unforgettable. Open with sounds of tribal chants echoing over shimmering lagoons and red-tinted rivers. Explore Canaima National Park, its pink lagoons, red rivers caused by tannins and minerals, and its role as a sacred land to indigenous people. Capture the surreal beauty and sense of eternal peace found here. They call it the liquid fire of Venezuela, a river that bleeds red through the heart of the jungle. From above, it looks unreal, like veins of molten crimson carving through emerald forests. But this is no illusion. This is Caño Cristales' forgotten twin, hidden deep in Venezuela's wilderness, the Rio Caño de Cristal Rojo, a natural phenomenon so rare it seems to defy the laws of Earth itself. The first time you see it, you question your eyes. The water glows in shades of scarlet, pink, and gold, shimmering like living silk beneath the sunlight. It's not paint, not minerals, but life itself. The Macarenia clavigera, an aquatic plant that blooms beneath the river's surface for only a few weeks each year. When the water level, temperature, and sunlight align in perfect harmony, this plant ignites the river in color, turning it into a flowing masterpiece of nature's design. Standing on its banks, you can hear the gentle hum of water moving over polished stone. The air is warm, heavy with the scent of rain and moss. Sunlight pierces through the canopy above, scattering across the crimson current like embers from a dying fire. Every ripple seems alive, dancing, changing, whispering. It's as if the earth herself is breathing in color. For centuries, local tribes revered these rivers as sacred veins of the planet, believing that the red water carried the lifeblood of Mother Earth. They told stories of spirits who guarded the flow, spirits who would awaken if the balance of nature was ever broken. Even today, few dare to touch its depths. To them, this river isn't just a wonder, it's a living being, ancient and wise. The journey to reach these red rivers is not for the faint-hearted. You travel through dense rainforests, where sunlight barely reaches the ground, across lands untouched by time. There are no roads, no signs, only the distant echo of waterfalls guiding you forward. Each step feels like a pilgrimage, leading deeper into Earth's hidden core. And when at last the jungle parts, revealing that red ribbon glowing beneath the trees, it feels like stepping into a dream you'll never wake from. But what truly makes these rivers extraordinary is their fragility. This phenomenon can only exist in a perfect balance. The right sunlight, the right clarity, the right water level. A few days of heavy rain, and the color fades to gray. Too much drought, and the riverbed dries up completely. It's a reminder that even the most breathtaking miracles of nature are fleeting, delicate, temporary, like the beating of a heart. Here, time feels suspended. You can sit by the river for hours, watching the light shift across the water, turning crimson to magenta, magenta to gold. The sound of insects and birds merges with the whispering current, creating a rhythm older than language. And as you breathe it all in, something stirs within you, a deep, wordless awe. You realize that nature doesn't need perfection to be divine. It just needs to be. At dusk, the jungle begins to glow. The fading sun ignites the river in shades of fire and blood. The reflections seem to dance like spirits rising from the water. For a moment, it feels as though you're watching the earth paint itself anew, using colors no artist could ever recreate. And yet, the red rivers are not just beautiful, they're a symbol of resilience. Despite their delicate nature, they endure, year after year, cycle after cycle. Through drought and storm, through silence and chaos, they return reborn each season as if nature herself refuses to let her magic fade. They remind us that even in a world scarred by change, beauty finds a way to flow again. As night falls, the forest becomes alive with sound frogs croaking, crickets singing, the river murmuring softly under a canopy of stars. The red fades into darkness, replaced by the silvery reflection of the moon. But the energy lingers, a quiet pulse beneath the earth, eternal and unseen. To witness this river is to understand something fundamental about our world, that beneath its surface, beneath its chaos, there's harmony, a perfect alignment that brings light, color, and life together in one fleeting, magnificent moment. The red rivers of Venezuela are more than a sight. They're a message that beauty, no matter how temporary, leaves a mark that never fades. And as you stand there, alone beneath the whispering trees, watching the last flicker of red disappear into night. You realize that this place, this hidden paradise, isn't just about seeing, it's about feeling. It's about remembering that the earth still holds secrets that words can't explain, only hearts can understand. Because in Venezuela's red rivers, you don't just see the color of nature, you see the color of life itself. Start with aerial shots of winding rivers glowing gold in sunset light. Journey through the Orinoco Delta, a vast labyrinth of waterways teeming with wildlife. Describe the life of the Warao people who live among the floating villages. Explore how this delta connects Venezuela's heart to the sea. Imagine standing in the middle of an endless turquoise horizon, where the sky and sea melt into one seamless infinity. Tiny islands float like emeralds on sheets of glass, and the air smells of salt, sun, and freedom. This is Los Roques, Venezuela's most dazzling secret, a place so surreal it feels painted by dreams rather than nature. From above, the archipelago looks like a mosaic, more than 300 cays and islets scattered across a Caribbean canvas. Every island tells its own quiet story, but together they form one of the most breathtaking natural sanctuaries on Earth. Here, time drifts with the tide, and the world slows down to the rhythm of waves kissing white sand. When you arrive, it's the light that first captures you. The sunlight doesn't just shine, it glows, bending across the sea in ribbons of blue so clear it feels unreal. Shades shift with every breath of wind, sapphire, aquamarine, jade, crystal, as if the ocean itself is alive, whispering in color. Step into the water, and it's like walking through air. The clarity is infinite. You can see coral gardens blooming below, and schools of fish swirling like living rainbows beneath your feet. There's a silence here that isn't empty, it's full. Full of the sound of waves curling softly over sandbars. Full of the wind brushing gently through mangroves. Full of peace so deep, it feels like the world has stopped moving. Los Roques isn't just beautiful, it's cleansing. Every breath feels lighter, every thought slows, until only the ocean remains. The archipelago's heart is Gran Roque, a small island that feels like a portal to another time. Its streets are lined with pastel-colored houses, fishermen mend their nets under the sun, and children laugh as they chase crabs along the shore. There are no skyscrapers, no highways, only the sound of seagulls and the hum of island life. It's a reminder that happiness doesn't always need speed or noise. Sometimes it's found in simplicity, in the rhythm of waves, in the scent of sea salt carried by the wind. But venture beyond Gran Roque, and the real magic begins. Islands like Cayo de Agua, Kraski, and Francisci unfold like a dream untouched. Pristine, radiant. Cayo de Agua, often called the most beautiful island in the Caribbean, is pure perfection. 2 white sandbars stretch into the sea, meeting in a shallow pool so clear it mirrors the sky. When you stand there, surrounded by water in every direction, it feels like you're floating, suspended between heaven and earth. Beneath the surface, an entire world thrives in silence. Coral reefs burst with life. Starfish, parrotfish, sea turtles, rays, and the gentle dance of anemones swaying with current. The reefs of Los Roques are among the healthiest in the Caribbean, a rare sanctuary in a world where coral is disappearing fast. Every diver who enters these waters leaves, changed, humbled by the fragile perfection that still survives here. As the sun begins to fall, Los Roques transforms once more. The ocean blushes gold and violet, the horizon melts into fire, and the islands become silhouettes, quiet guardians of the night. Fishermen return to shore, their boats slicing through molten light. The air cools, and the scent of salt and wood smoke fills the evening. In that moment, there's no past, no future, only now. And when darkness finally arrives, the stars take over. Out here, far from the cities, the sky becomes a cathedral of light. The Milky Way spills across the heavens, reflected perfectly in the still waters below. It's impossible to tell where the stars end and the sea begins. They merge into one infinite mirror. You realize then that Los Roques isn't just a place. It's a feeling, a living moment suspended in time, untouched by the world's chaos. But Los Roques is also fragile, a paradise balanced on the edge of nature's grace. Rising sea levels and shifting currents threaten its delicate reefs and sands. The locals know this well. They live in harmony with the ocean, protecting it as if it were a heartbeat, because here, the sea is life. Every shell, every ripple, every gust of wind carries meaning. To harm one part is to harm the whole. So, as you stand on that endless shore, watching the last light of day fade into the sea, you feel gratitude. Gratitude that places like this still exist. Places that remind us how beautiful Earth can be when left to simply be. Los Roques is not loud. It doesn't scream for attention. It whispers softly, clearly, eternally. It reminds you that magic doesn't always come from what's new or grand, but from what's pure, simple, and untouched. And as you drift to sleep under a blanket of stars, with the sound of waves echoing in your soul, one truth becomes clear. The real paradise isn't somewhere we build. It's somewhere we remember. Open with turquoise waters seen from above, so clear it feels like flying over glass. Introduce Los Roques Archipelago, coral islands scattered like jewels across the Caribbean. Describe its surreal beauty, marine life, and serenity. Show how this paradise remains largely untouched, a secret world for those who find it. Under the blazing Venezuelan sun, the land suddenly transforms. The lush greens fade, the horizon ripples, and before you stretches an ocean made not of water, but of sand. Waves of gold rise and fall, with the wind endless, silent, hypnotic. This is Médanos de Coro, a desert unlike any other on Earth. A living, breathing landscape, sculpted by the invisible hands of time and air. At first glance, it feels impossible, a vast desert resting between the Caribbean Sea and the lush tropics of South America. But here it is, stretching for miles, shimmering beneath a merciless Sunday. The dunes shift constantly, never still, as if alive. Every gust of wind reshapes them, carving new ridges, smoothing old ones, erasing footprints in moments. This is a place where permanence doesn't exist, only motion, only change. The sound of the wind is the voice of the Médanos. It hums low and endless, sweeping over the dunes in waves. Sometimes it whispers, sometimes it howls. But it's always there, shaping, sculpting, reminding you that nature is the true artist here, and the dunes are its masterpiece. Walking through Médanos feels like stepping into another planet. The heat radiates off the sand. The air shimmers like liquid glass, and the sky, impossibly blue, feels close enough to touch. There are no trees, no rivers, no shade, yet somehow life endures. Hidden beneath the sand are beetles, lizards, and small desert foxes that have learned to survive in this shifting world. Every grain of sand here carries a story of wind, of erosion, of the centuries it took to build this silent sea. Locals often say the dunes move like spirits. One day they're tall as mountains. The next, they're gone swallowed by the desert wind. The Médanos are constantly migrating, inching closer to the city of Coro, as if the desert itself is slowly reclaiming the land. It's a strange and haunting sight. This golden sea creeping towards civilization, unstoppable, eternal. But within this harsh beauty lies an undeniable peace. When you stand atop one of the towering dunes, the world below disappears. The wind roars in your ears, your footprints vanish behind you, and for a moment you feel infinite. The patterns in the sand look like waves frozen in time, and as the sun begins to fall, the entire landscape ignites. The dunes turn orange, then red, then deep violet as night approaches. The transition feels sacred, the desert breathing in color before surrendering to darkness. At sunset, Médanos becomes a painter's dream. Shadows stretch across the curves of the dunes, creating layers of gold and shadow that seem to move even when you stand still. Every photograph, every frame captures only a fragment of its soul, because the Médanos can never truly be captured. It must be felt. By night, the desert transforms again. The heat fades, the air cools, and the wind stills. The silence deepens until it feels almost alive. Then the stars emerge more than you've ever seen. Without city lights or noise, the sky over Médanos becomes a cathedral of constellations. The Milky Way spills across the heavens like silver dust, and the dunes below reflect their faint glow. You realize you're standing between two oceans, one of sand, one of stars. But Médanos isn't just a marvel of nature, it's also deeply tied to Venezuelan culture. For centuries, travelers, nomads, and pilgrims have crossed these dunes, guided by moonlight and memory. The desert has witnessed countless stories of faith, survival, and rebirth. And even today, locals visit to watch the sunset, to feel the wind, to listen to the silence that speaks louder than any words. It's said that the desert humbles all who enter it. Out here, stripped of comfort and noise, you come face to face with something ancient, something eternal. You begin to see beauty not in abundance, but in emptiness. The curve of a dune becomes art. The movement of the wind becomes music. The desert doesn't try to impress, it simply is. As dawn returns, the first light of day spreads across the sand like liquid gold. The wind rises again, and the dunes begin their slow dance. They shift, they shimmer, they breathe. The Médanos are never the same twice. To visit once is to witness a moment that will never happen again. Standing at the edge of this desert, you understand that beauty doesn't always bloom in life sometimes. It thrives in stillness, in silence, in survival. Médanos de Coro isn't just a place to see. It's a place to feel a reminder that even in the most barren corners of Earth, there is poetry, there is peace, and there is power. And as you turn away, the desert swallows your footprints like a promise that no matter how far you go, a part of your soul will always remain among these shifting sands where time stands still and the earth remembers. Begin with the sound of wind sweeping across golden dunes beneath a crimson sky. Reveal the Médanos de Coro, vast shifting dunes where desert meets the sea. Capture the contrast between arid silence and surrounding life. Explore how nature sculpts beauty from emptiness. Imagine standing in the heart of a vast, untouched jungle, the air heavy with mist, the sound of unseen creatures echoing through the trees. Then, suddenly, you hear it, a deep, thundering roar that grows louder with every step. You follow the sound through vines and fog until the forest opens before you. And there it is, Angel Falls, the tallest waterfall on Earth, a ribbon of water plunging from the heavens almost 1 kilometer straight down into the emerald depths of Venezuela's Canaima National Park. At that moment, words fail. The sheer scale of it is overwhelming. The water doesn't simply fall, it floats. For much of its descent, it never even touches the cliff face, drifting through clouds and wind before crashing into a misty pool far below. It's as if the sky itself has cracked open and begun to pour. Angel Falls, or Salto Angel, is not just a waterfall. It's a living miracle, hidden within one of the most remote and mystical landscapes on Earth. Its source lies atop Tepui, a colossal tabletop mountain that rises like a fortress from the jungle. These Tepui ancient sandstone plateaus are some of the oldest geological formations in the world, older than the Amazon rainforest itself. They've stood unchanged for over 1 billion years, like stone guardians of a forgotten time. The name Angel Falls has a story of its own. It was named after Jimmy Angel, an American aviator who accidentally discovered it in 1933 while searching for gold. His plane crash-landed on the flat summit of Tepui, and though he survived, it took him and his crew 11 days to descend through the dense jungle below. When the world heard his story, They also heard of the waterfall that seemed to fall from the clouds. But long before Jimmy Angel, the indigenous Pemon people had already named it Karapakupai Meru, the fall from the deepest place. A name that captures its mystery far better than any explorer's title ever could. Approaching Angel Falls is a journey that feels like entering another realm. There are no roads, no shortcuts. You travel by river, through a labyrinth of waterways, flanked by towering cliffs and thick rainforest. The motorized canoes, called curiaras, glide over the dark, tannin-stained waters of the Carao and Churun rivers. Every turn reveals new wonders, crimson rocks, trees older than memory, and the constant, haunting cry of jungle birds. Hours into the journey, the mist begins to appear faint at first, then rising in clouds. The sound grows too, until it drowns everything else. And then, through the veil of vapor, you see it. Angel Falls, standing impossibly tall, cascading from the clouds like liquid silver. The scale is unreal. The upper cliffs disappear into mist, the middle vanishes in spray, and the bottom bursts into a roaring explosion of foam and rainbows. It's said that when the sun strikes the falls just right, a rainbow forms that stretches across the entire gorge, a bridge between earth and sky. Standing there, drenched in mist, you can't help but feel small, not in a frightening way, but in a way that fills you with awe. The falls seem alive, breathing with the heartbeat of the planet itself. Climbers and explorers have long tried to conquer Angel Falls, but the mountain guards its secrets well. The slippery cliffs, constant rainfall, and unpredictable winds make it one of the most difficult natural wonders to approach. Even drones struggle to capture its true height because the clouds constantly shift, hiding and revealing it like a shy god. But perhaps that's what makes it so magical. You don't conquer Angel Falls, you witness it. You stand before it and feel the pulse of nature's power, pure, unfiltered, eternal. The wind pushes the spray into your face, the roar fills your chest, and the earth beneath your feet vibrates with every drop that hits the basin below. It's a sensory overload that silences your thoughts and leaves only one feeling: reverence. At night, when the jungle sleeps and the stars rise, the falls turn ghostly. The moonlight catches the mist, painting it silver, while the sound continues endlessly, a lullaby from the sky. The indigenous people believe the spirits of their ancestors live within the mountain, watching over the land, and when the falls roar at night, they say it's the voice of the gods. As dawn breaks, the first light of morning paints the cliff face in gold. The clouds begin to clear, and for a brief moment, you can see the full cascade from top to bottom, the entire kilometer of falling water glowing in the sunday. It's one of those moments that stays with you forever. Angel Falls isn't just a wonder of Venezuela, it's a reminder of what the world still hides from us. In a time when we think we've mapped every inch of Earth, places like this prove that mystery still exists, that somewhere deep in the jungle, nature still holds power beyond our imagination. As you leave, the roar fades behind you, replaced by the whisper of leaves and the distant call of birds. But something inside you changes. You've stood before a force older than time, purer than thought, and you realize that even on a planet filled with wonders, some places are not meant to be understood. They are meant to be felt. And Angel Falls, the eternal drop of heaven, is one of them. Start with the rising sun, breaking over dense rainforest canopy. Explore the primordial jungles of southern Venezuela, home to hidden waterfalls, ancient granite formations, and unseen species. Paint a sense of time standing still. This is one of Earth's last untouched ecosystems. Imagine a land so ancient that time itself seems to have forgotten it. A vast, golden green expanse where rivers shimmer like veins of light, where the horizon stretches endlessly, broken only by towering stone plateaus that rise into the clouds. This is Gran Sabana, Venezuela's mythical highland, a place so otherworldly. It inspired Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World. And when you see it, you'll understand why. Gran Sabana is not just a destination, It's a realm suspended between earth and sky. The air feels thinner here, purer. The ground glows with colors that shift from emerald to amber as the sun moves across the heavens. Scattered across this ancient landscape are the Tepui monumental tabletop mountains, carved over billions of years by wind and rain. They rise like islands in the clouds, their flat summits shrouded in mist, their cliffs plunging thousands of feet into the rainforest below. Each Tepui is a fortress, an ecosystem of its own, untouched by the modern world. The most iconic of these is Mount Roraima, often called the mother of all Tepui, standing more than 2,800 meters high. Its summit is older than the Andes, older than the Amazon, a geological remnant of the supercontinent Gondwana. For the indigenous Piman people, Roraima is sacred, a place where the gods dwell and where the spirits of creation reside. They call it Roroima, the great blue-green mother of waters. They believe its streams are the source of life that flows down into the surrounding lands. Reaching the top of Roraima is like traveling through time. The climb is long and grueling, taking adventurers through dense forest, slippery slopes, and sudden mists that roll in like living fog. But when you finally step onto the summit, the world below seems to vanish. You stand on a stone plateau that feels like another planet, black rock, crystal pools, and strange, prehistoric plants that exist nowhere else on Earth. Some of these species have evolved in total isolation for millions of years, surviving only here, cut off from the rest of the world by the cliffs that surround them. The air up here is cool and silent. Clouds drift at your feet, and when rain falls, which it often does, the water runs off the edges of the mountain in hundreds of thin, silver streams, cascading down in sheets of mist that vanish into the forest below. It's hard not to feel small, standing there on a billion-year-old mountaintop, surrounded by an endless sky. Grand Sabana's beauty, though, is not limited to its heights. Down below, rivers and waterfalls cut through vast plains of golden grass. The Quebrada de Jaspe, for example, is unlike any stream in the world. Its riverbed glows red, not because of the water, but because of the shimmering jasper stone that lies beneath it. The flow of water over the crimson rock creates a natural mosaic, a living artwork, constantly shifting, constantly alive. Everywhere you go, the landscape hums with life. You can feel the pulse of the earth beneath your feet. The sound of rushing water echoes in the distance. Birds call from unseen branches, and sometimes, in the stillness, you can hear nothing but the wind, soft, endless, ancient. It's as if the entire land breathes. The Pemen people live in small, scattered communities across the Grand Sabana. Their connection to the land is deep and spiritual. They see the Tepui not as mountains, but as living beings, guardians of balance and wisdom. They tell stories of sky serpents and river spirits, of firebirds that guard sacred pools, and of the first humans who descended from Roraima's summit to shape the world below. These myths aren't just stories, they're reflections of a relationship between humans and nature that modern civilization has almost forgotten. When the sun sets over Grand Sabana, the plains ignite with color. The sky burns orange and violet. The Tepui glow like molten gold, and the air turns cool and still. The silence becomes almost sacred. You can see for miles rivers glinting like silver threads, waterfalls falling in slow motion through the haze, and distant lightning illuminating the far horizon. This is nature in its purest form, vast, untamed, eternal. And then, as darkness falls, the stars appear so many that the night sky looks alive. Far from the lights of the cities, you see the universe as the ancients did. Endless, infinite, breathtaking. The constellations shimmer above the Tepuis, reflected in the still pools on the mountaintops. It feels like standing between two worlds, the heavens above and the primeval earth below. Grand Sabana is a place that challenges everything you think you know about time, life, and creation. It's not just a landscape, it's a living memory of what the planet once was. To walk here is to walk through the pages of the Earth's oldest story, to feel the raw, humbling truth of nature's eternity. As dawn rises again, the mist lifts from the plains, and the first light catches the edges of the Tepui, turning them into floating islands of gold. You realize that you've witnessed something sacred, a world that has existed long before humanity and will continue long after us. The Grand Sabana doesn't ask for attention. It doesn't seek to impress. It simply exists, vast, silent, eternal, reminding us that the greatest wonders are often the ones untouched by time, hidden in the heart of the earth, waiting for those who dare to look beyond the edge of the known world. Begin with thunder rolling over the night sky, lightning flashing endlessly over water. Tell the story of Catatumbo, lightning, a natural phenomenon where storms rage almost every night, lighting up the sky in mesmerizing beauty. Reflect on the power of nature and the spirit of Venezuelan endurance. There are places on earth where time seems to flow like a river, slow, endless, and unbothered by the outside world. The Orinoco Delta is one of those places. A maze of waterways and mangrove forests stretching for more than 25,000 square kilometers across eastern Venezuela. It feels less like a destination and more like a dream. This is the kingdom of water, and silence, a living labyrinth where land and river merge into one breathing, eternal organism. From above, the delta looks like veins spreading from the heart of the earth, thousands of twisting channels winding toward the Atlantic Ocean. But from within, it's something else entirely. The world here is liquid. The trees rise straight from the water, their roots tangled in a web of mud and life. The air hums with the sound of unseen creatures. Every breath carries the scent of wet wood, earth, and salt. It's both haunting and beautiful, a reminder that life doesn't always need roads to thrive. The Orinoco River itself is one of the longest in South America, a mighty artery that has shaped the continent for millions of years. As it reaches the delta, its power softens. It divides, fragments, spreads, until its roar becomes a whisper. The result is a network of waterways so intricate that even locals sometimes lose their way. But for the people who live here, the Warao, the boat people, the delta is not a maze. It is home. The Warao have lived in this watery world for thousands of years, navigating its endless channels with wooden canoes carved by hand. Their homes, called palafitos, stand on stilts above the water, connected by narrow walkways or simple bridges made of palm trunks. Their lives follow the rhythm of the tides rising with the water, sleeping to the lull of its gentle sway. They fish, they weave, they sing, and through generations, they've learned to read the language of the delta, the movement of birds, the murmur of currents, the silence before a storm. In the early morning, the delta is cloaked in mist. The water reflects the pale sky like a mirror, and the first rays of sunlight pierce through the mangroves, painting streaks of gold across the still surface. The air feels alive, filled with the distant cries of macaws, the flapping of herons, the hum of insects waking from the night. The jungle never sleeps here, it merely changes its rhythm. As your boat glides deeper into the labyrinth, the modern world fades away. There are no cities, no roads, no noise but the soft splash of paddles. Each bend reveals something new, a caiman slipping silently beneath the surface, pink river dolphins breaking through the water with graceful arcs, and flocks of scarlet ibis taking flight in bursts of crimson. It's as if every living creature here moves to a single heartbeat, that of the Orinoco itself. In the heart of the delta, time stretches thin. The days blend into one another, marked only by the color of the sky and the changing light on the water. The Warao people say that in the delta, the river is a spirit, one that watches over all who live within its embrace. They offer songs and prayers to it, knowing that to disrespect the river is to lose your way forever. When night falls, the delta transforms again. The waters turn black and glassy, reflecting the stars like a moving sky. Fireflies flicker through the mangroves, and the calls of nocturnal animals echo in the darkness. There's a stillness here, not the silence of emptiness, but the deep, ancient quiet of nature in balance. Every sound feels amplified: the distant splash of a fish, the rustle of leaves in the wind, the faint creak of wooden stilts as homes shift with the tide. The Orinoco Delta is not just a sanctuary for humans, it's one of the most biodiverse regions on the planet. Beneath its calm surface lies a world teeming with life. Electric eels, manatees, piranhas, and countless species of birds and reptiles. The mangrove forests act as nurseries for fish and as lungs for the earth, absorbing carbon, releasing oxygen, and protecting the coastline from the fury of the sea. It's a living system that sustains itself, untouched by time, resilient against the elements. But the delta is fragile too. In recent years, its balance has been threatened by pollution, by deforestation, by the creeping shadow of modernization. Yet even as the world changes around it, the Orinoco continues to flow, carrying with it the heartbeat of a nation that was born from its waters. For those who visit, the delta leaves a mark unlike any other. It's not the kind of beauty that shouts, it whispers. It humbles you, slows you down, forces you to listen. Out here, you begin to understand that nature doesn't need to prove its power. It exists in its stillness, in its rhythm, in its persistence. And when dawn returns, when the first light glows over the horizon, and the mist begins to rise once more, the delta awakens in a golden haze. The Warao children paddle to school through narrow channels. Fishermen glide silently through the reeds. And the Orinoco, eternal and unbroken, continues its quiet journey to the sea. You realize then that the Orinoco Delta is more than a place. It's a world of water and memory, of reflection and rebirth. A world that teaches patience, humility, and wonder if you're willing to slow down and listen to its song. And as your boat drifts away from its depths, you carry that song with you, a melody of rippling water, whispering wind, and the eternal silence of a land that has never stopped breathing. Start with a montage: waterfalls, dunes, deltas, and the eyes of people smiling under golden light. Bring all landscapes and stories together, revealing the heart of Venezuela, a land of resilience, grace, and boundless beauty. End with a poetic reflection. Paradise was never lost. It was waiting here in the soul of Venezuela. Every journey, no matter how breathtaking the landscapes, ultimately leads to one realization: that the true soul of a country lies not in its mountains, rivers, or cities, but in its people. And in Venezuela, that soul burns brighter than anywhere else on earth. From the Caribbean coast to the depths of the Amazon, from the wild plains of Los Llanos to the misty peaks of the Andes, the heart of this land beats within its people, unyielding, passionate, and endlessly alive. Venezuela is a place of contrasts, of joy and hardship, of beauty and endurance. It is a nation that has faced storms, yet still finds a reason to sing. Its people have learned that resilience is not just about survival. It's about creating light, even in the darkest times. And perhaps that's what makes this country so magnetic. Beneath every challenge lies an unbreakable spirit, a belief that tomorrow will always be better. In the streets of Caracas, you can feel that spirit immediately. The air hums with energy music pouring from open windows, the scent of arepas and coffee drifting through the city, laughter echoing from every corner. The people move fast, talk loud, live intensely. There's rhythm in everything they do, a pulse that never slows down. Even amidst chaos, there's color. Even amidst struggle, there's warmth. Travel beyond the capital, and you'll find that same fire burning everywhere. In the small fishing villages along the Caribbean coast, fishermen rise before dawn, casting their nets into waters that have sustained generations. The sun rises golden over the sea, lighting up faces weathered by salt and time, yet filled with pride. In the mountain towns near Mérida, farmers tend their land with quiet devotion, their lives bound to the soil and seasons. In Los Llanos, cowboys ride across vast, endless plains, their silhouettes painted against the setting sun. Venezuelans have always lived close to the land, not just as a means of survival, but as a way of being. The earth here isn't something to conquer, it's something to love. The mountains are sacred. The rivers are alive. Every festival, every dance, every meal carries echoes of ancient traditions, a blend of indigenous roots, African rhythms, and Spanish influence that has shaped a culture unlike any other. And then there's the music, the heartbeat of Venezuela. From the soul-stirring strum of the cuatro to the thunder of drums and Afro-Venezuelan celebrations, music is everywhere. It's how stories are told, how joy is shared, how grief is healed. It's how Venezuelans remind themselves that even when everything else changes, their rhythm never fades. In the countryside, you'll hear joropo, a lively, poetic dance that captures the spirit of the plains. Its quick steps and bright melodies mirror the gallop of horses and the rush of rivers. In the north, Gaita Zuliana fills the air during the Christmas season, songs of unity, faith, and love that bring people together across generations. And in every city and village, spontaneous gatherings erupt, people dancing barefoot in the street, laughter rising into the night sky. But what truly defines Venezuela is the way its people care for one another. In times of scarcity, they share. In moments of fear, they hold hands. They've learned that community is the greatest form of wealth, that when one person falls, the others lift them back up. The Venezuelan smile, radiant and genuine, carries a silent message. We are still here. We are still strong. Even those who have left the millions, who've crossed borders in search of a better life, carry Venezuela in their hearts. They build small pieces of home wherever they go. The taste of cachapas, the sound of joropo, the warmth of shared laughter. They send love, hope, and memories back to the land that raised them, proving that Venezuela's spirit extends far beyond its borders. To travel through this country is to witness that strength firsthand. You see it in the eyes of children playing soccer on dusty fields, dreaming of something greater. You hear it in the voices of street musicians who pour their souls into every note. You feel it in the hands of elders, whose stories carry the wisdom of centuries. Everywhere you turn, there's resilience, not the cold endurance of survival, but the vibrant determination to live fully, to love fiercely, and to never lose faith. And that's the real beauty of Venezuela. Its landscapes are magnificent. Yes, the waterfalls, the deserts, the jungles, the mountains. But what makes them unforgettable is the spirit that fills them. The kindness of a stranger offering food to a traveler. The laughter of children echoing through the mountains. The faith of a fisherman watching the sunrise after a long night. These are the true wonders of this land. As the sun sets over Angel Falls, the world's tallest waterfall, and its golden light spills across the forest below, you begin to understand something profound. Venezuela is not just a place to see. It's a feeling, a force, a living pulse that connects everyone who's ever walked its soil or dreamed of its beauty. It's in the courage of its people, the rhythm of its songs, the laughter that refuses to fade. It's in the hope that never dies, no matter how strong the storm. That is the soul of Venezuela, wild, beautiful, and eternal. And as the journey comes to an end, one truth lingers like the echo of the Orinoco River. The magic of Venezuela isn't found in what it has. It's found in who it is. A country built on resilience, bound by love, and defined by a spirit that will never be silenced. We came searching for beauty, and we found something far greater. We found a land that breathes with the pulse of the earth, a land shaped by fire, carved by wind, and blessed by water. But above all, we found its people. Brave, warm, unbreakable. In Venezuela, beauty is not just seen, it's felt. It's in the rhythm of the drums at night, the laughter shared beneath endless skies, the courage of those who never stop believing in tomorrow. This land may face storms, but its spirit shines brighter than ever, like sunlight piercing through the clouds. From the golden dunes of Médanos to the towering majesty of Angel Falls, from the crimson waters of Caño Cristales to the quiet heartbeat of the Llanos, Venezuela is not just a place on a map. It's a living symphony of hope, nature, and resilience. And as the last light fades behind the mountains, one truth remains clear. Paradise was never lost. It was always here, waiting to be seen, waiting to be understood. This is Venezuela. Wild, eternal, unforgettable. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, safe travels and see you in the next video.